Welcome to episode 34. Can you believe that? 34 of the Bandwagon Fan. Man. This is a show. We talk about all things pop culture. My name's AJ.
And my name is Kate.
And this week, we're going to talk about Stranger Things Volume 2. But before we get into the nitty gritty, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. Kate, how was your week?
How was my week?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, AJ? Because we haven't gotten to have a nice little you and me chat in a while.
Yeah.
I'll share with you something that happened last week. I broke my toe. I broke my toe.
Ouch. How'd you break your toe?
I had a board of wood. It's so clumsy. I feel like when I say this, I'm like, Kate, why'd you have a board of wood in your closet? I had a board of wood in my closet. Just to, you never know. You might need to do an art project.
Yeah.
It is from like an old bookshelf that I had, and I lost the screws for this shelf. So I just kept the one board of wood that would be a shelf on a bookshelf. And I was moving things around in my closet and forgot about the board of wood.
Oh.
And it just came crashing down on my toe.
Oh.
Pain like I've never felt before. I've never broken a bone. So I've finally popped that cherry.
You've never broken a bone?
No, never.
Oh my goodness.
I always prided myself.
What a blessed life.
When people do the never have I ever, that was always one of my go-tos. Yeah. Was like, I've never broken a bone.
Yeah.
But I did get a fracture. I did go to an urgent care. I know. And gosh, oh my gosh. Which toe? The big toe. The big one.
Okay, the big one. The big one.
Yeah. But I'm doing well. I am recovering. But I did spend most of this past week pretty much indoors and not doing much. And then crazy just side thing. I'm not going to name my company, but my company did a mass layoff.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm safe. I'm fine. But It was scary. It was like, oh my God. Because they kind of said, like, in other words, this is because of the impending recession.
Yeah.
So I survived my first pre-recession layoff.
Big layoff, yeah.
And so that's been my week.
Wow.
Yeah. How about you? I hope less stressful than mine.
No, this is the Pain Olympics. I had COVID.
Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't know that.
I had COVID all week. Came back from Florida, and let me tell you, I was masked up. I walking around with a ruler. Didn't matter. Okay.
Florida will get through that mask. Florida.
Oh my God. I came back and I knew it. I knew when we touched back down to Houston, I'm like, I got COVID. I can
Houston,
taste it.
We have a problem.
Yeah, we got a problem. No, I had COVID. I was in bed all week.
Oh.
I still have not tested negative, so my wife will not let me leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't touched grass. It's been a miserable week for me.
What kind of grass?
Like Kentucky bluegrass,
Okay.
Yeah. And then also, like, to make matters worse, we have fire ants in our yard.
Oh.
So my poor dog got bit a little. I think he got bit at least. So
maybe don't touch the grass. Maybe your wife is protecting you.
And then there was a, what are those big wasps? I think they're called like tarantula hawks.
Oh
those
my God.
Big old, like, disgusting wasps, whatever. It was in our little, there. It was like, I only know about this because of Coyote Peterson. Shout out to Coyote Peterson if you ever watch his YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. He's a YouTuber. He gets stung by like every different animal or creature all around the world. Not really, but we could talk about it another time. Anyways, it was in my patio thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm not playing games with it, so I had to dispatch it using a TikTok technique of getting like soap and water, and then when you throw it on a wasp nest, like the wasps like fall down, which is true that they do fall.
Really?
And then you just give them the good old curb stomp, and then they're good.
Oh my God!
If anyone has a wasp nest and you don't necessarily have like the spray to deal with that,
dish soap
and water, yeah. But make sure you stomp them after they fall, otherwise they will dry off and fly away. So
otherwise, you just gave them a bath, and that's
you just gave them a nice little bath, exactly. Yeah.
We both had bad weeks.
Yeah, we both had bad weeks, and not just us.
Oh yeah.
But lots of people had bad weeks, including a fan favorite from Stranger Things. I keep forgetting his name because I want to call him Eddie Munson. I do this every time.
Every time.
His name is Joseph Quinn.
Yay.
Thank you. Okay, yes. So Joseph Quinn, I don't know if you know, was I guess they're doing some type of like promo in London, or like it was like a London Comic-Con type of thing. And, you know, if you ever been to a con, there are sections where, like, you know, actors, writers, whoever can meet up with fans, meet and greet type of thing. And I guess his meet and greet was very popular because, you know, he's, I think, a fan favorite of the season. And, you know, he had this very awkward incident where, like, the staff there were like berating him, you know, telling him, like, you know, hurry the F up, that kind of stuff, and just making him feel bad. And you know, from what's been reported, like, his perspective was like he was just trying to make sure he could meet with every fan because they waited and paid to like meet him. And he's not, I don't know what he's done before Stranger Things.
I don't know either. Honestly, that would have been probably some good prep on our end, but
yeah,
I mean, all of them, if you think about it, like almost all of the entire Stranger Things cast, like besides Winona Ryder and maybe like Murray, because I know that actress in a lot, almost all of them, Stranger Things was really kind of the only thing in their repertoire, you know, and especially obviously the thing that catapulted them to fame. But
yeah,
I don't know if Joseph Quinn did anything before, but
he was in Game of Thrones apparently, but I definitely don't know. I don't remember. But I think
so sad to hear this though, that like he was being like to know that it's like he's trying to be good to his fans and then getting in trouble for it. It's like. Also, like,
shame on those people.
You're not supposed to yell at the talent. You're supposed to bend over backwards for the talent.
Shame at those people. Shame on those people.
Shame on them.
I don't really understand what was achieved. I guess my only assumption, to be quite honest with you, was just like they must have some type of directive from their bosses or whatever that, like, you know, this is like this is not to disparage Joseph Quinn at all, but they must have some type of directive, like, oh, he's not this A-list celebrity, so don't give them, you know, the time of day and that kind of thing.
Yes. Which we were talking a little bit about that, how it kind of gotten the vibe lately that anybody who's not one of the like main original kids from Stranger Things, those actors just, you know, it's almost like they're told to like sit there, look pretty, don't talk too much. I get this sense that they're like debriefed, you know, like, hey, this is your 15 minutes of fame, but don't get used to it. Sit there, talk a little bit, but make sure to let Dustin talk and Joe talk, or Steve.
Well, I think if anything, being on Stranger Things, I definitely think we're going to see Joseph Quinn on a lot of things now. So, hey, stock is up on Joseph Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kate, you and I watched Volume 2 of Stranger Things after watching Volume 1. You know, I think what we kind of had some theories at the end of Volume 1, and I don't remember if they came true or not.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember if they came true.
I have no clue what I predicted, and it probably didn't even come true, honestly.
Yeah, I think our general consensus was. I think the only thing we did I do remember that we did think that the Vecna kept Nancy alive.
Yes.
For a reason, which I think we generally got that right.
I had a feeling she wasn't going to die, and I say had a feeling. I know that she wasn't going to die because when they showed a promo for Volume 2 before it even came out, I saw in a promo clip Nancy in a scene, and I'm like, why would you leave us cliffhanger that like she might be dead, but then in the promo include a scene of her clearly alive? So like,
I thought that was kind of dumb. But yeah, let's jump into this. So to kind of go through this, we're just going to break this up the same way we did for Volume 1. So we can start with Team Russia because, quite honestly, we do not care about Team Russia.
Not really. No, not
Team
really.
Russia is comprised of Harper, Joyce, Yuri, Murray, and Dimitri. And if we remember in Volume 1, they were finally able to break. They're finally able to break Harper and Dimitri out of the I guess the gulag. That's basically what it is. Yeah, the Russian gulag.
Yeah.
They break him out. They reunite, and so this picks up literally right where that leaves off, where they escape the prison. They make it back to that weird little town, kind of on the outskirts of the prison, and then there's this, I guess, weird conflict because the only way they can escape is through Yuri, which, as we know, Yuri is not very trustworthy.
And he's got a helicopter that he's very sexual with.
Very. It's like it was like a joke that I'm like, this is not landing.
It didn't land. It did not land. Yes, I thought the same. I was like, I'm sure they're trying to be a little edgy here, but I was like, I just feel gross. I feel really gross.
No, I was like, this joke is not landing. Please let it go.
Yes.
But yes, they need Yuri to take them to America. And he's
in a helicopter.
In a helicopter, which, okay. And for whatever reason, Harper and Joyce were like, we got to help the kids.
Hopper.
You're right.
I was going to say, the first time you said Harper, I was like, okay, maybe I just heard it wrong. Hopper?
Honestly, this part of the story, I could give like 5 shits about. So like, I was just like, we just need to get through this.
Yes.
But yeah, Hopper is basically telling Joyce, like, we got to go back to the prison to kill the leftover monsters.
Yes.
They don't really ever explain why he knows that he just has this feeling in his gut, I guess, that they need to die. And so
they do a phone call. They're able to call to America, but again, there's no chance that they even know they're talking to someone in America or KGB.
Yeah.
But somehow they get some kind of message. I mean, well, we do know it's from Dr. Owen's like assistant, I guess.
Yes.
The kids are in trouble, but it's like at the same time that could mean anything.
At straws. Yeah, it's grasping at straws.
But
so they break back into the prison. And they kill the monsters. That's it. Like, that's literally it. In fact, I was like, was this whole Russian arc just to have Hopper swing a sword at a Demogorgon? So. I'm like, that's really dumb. So there's that.
I do have to say, there was speaking of other sexual energy, there was some sexual tension between Joyce and Hopper.
Yes,
the scene when they're putting on their contraband American clothes.
Yeah.
And the filming they had there with the taking off of pants
with the
and
taking
shirts.
Off. Yeah.
I think I was waiting for them to do one of those sneaky things where like they're about to kiss, but then like Yuri walks in and is like, hey, and they don't get to kiss. But I'm really glad the Duffer Brothers let it be that Joyce and Hopper finally get to kiss. They finally get to decide, yes.
Leave us alone. Leave us alone with this. Yeah. Thank you.
That was the best. To me, that was the most important part of the entire Team Russia was just, is Hopper and Joyce going to finally be together? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, okay, because remember, all these things are happening concurrently. We have what I like to call Team Rescue Rangers.
Yes.
Will, Mike, Argyle, and Jonathan. They're trying to, we remember, they were attacked by, I think, the government, right? The government was looking for 11 in Volume 1. So they are running away. Yes, they're running away / looking for 11. And they, there was this whole, I don't think we talked about this in the first episode, but there was this whole like stupid side quest where they went to Dustin's girlfriend's house and.
So lame.
So dumb, so stupid, but whatever. They find out 11 is somewhere in the desert in a military bunker, basically. So they are trying to find this bunker. On the way there, Mike and Will have this kind of nice heart-to-heart because, as we know, Will feels neglected, right? And Mike is trying to kind of come to terms with just like his relationship with 11 because, 11's a superhero and he doesn't...
The last time they saw each other, she was pretty pissed at him. She said,
yeah, she was mad.
She was really mad. I mean, the man cannot seem to say the words, I love you, or even just express his feelings, it seems. And we realized that Mike is super struggling with a lot internally.
Yes, he is. And the conversation is just basically Will telling Mike, like, Mike, we all need you because, you're kind of like the heart of our team. And, without that, were nothing, and it was almost like a confession from Will's perspective.
Oh yes,
like, I need you. You know what I mean? And he's speaking.
It was heartbreaking.
Seriously about 11 and Mike, but it's really about him and Mike. And, and I think, and then Jonathan sees that, and then Jonathan and Will also have a heart-to-heart later. As well. I just thought it was weird that they just never really came out to say he was gay. Yes. I don't understand why.
In terms of you and I recording this podcast right now, as of I think yesterday, Noah Schnapp, the actor who plays Will, did confirm Will is gay. Yeah. If you didn't pick that up, then you might be a little, I don't know, too right to see. Yeah, a little too lost to not notice that. But I don't know. I don't know what you thought of that. I thought it was really emotional. I don't really know how I feel about Noah Schnapp as a person, the actor. Yeah. But the way he played Will this season, and it's just like every episode, you could tell he is like really struggling inside with his own issues too of feelings for his friend, that he's like, he's clearly got feelings for Mike. And I liked too that Jonathan, the older brother, picked up on those things, because I feel like Jonathan's character didn't really get much action this whole season.
There wasn't a lot for him to do, and I think that is one of like the only like complaints I will have of this season is that we kind of got to pare down the characters. We got too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
It's cool that we have like these like cool sub teams, but now it's getting to the point where you're having to like literally kind of write out certain characters. I mean,
Jonathan was relegated to just be the driver. He just played the pizza truck driver.
Yeah, exactly.
And Argyle was the comedic relief, and then you get the drama in the backseat.
Rescue Rangers. So they find 11 in. We'll get to that later, but they find 11 and they rescue her in the middle of a conflict with the military. Which also I love how we never really know like what branch of the military. It's just the military. It's all of them. They then need to take. They're trying to get back home. They can't get back home because they're broke and they can't get back to Hawkins. So they need
in a quick time. There's no flights available.
No flights available. So the Rescue Rangers go to the pizza chain that Argyle works in. It's essentially their version of Pizza Hut.
Did you see that one coming? Did you see like the moment that they said we need like a tub or a tank? My brain immediately was like, pizza shop. They're gonna go to a pizza shop.
I didn't think about it until like I never thought about it because in my mind I didn't get that they were trying to find an immersion tank for her. So like they were just like, we need a lot of salt. I thought, you know what I mean? So
my brain, they were like, we need less salt. And then my brain, I don't know if it's because I love to eat, but my first thought was pizza dough. We need salt for pizza dough. They couldn't go to the pizza shop.
So they go to the pizza shop and they make a ghetto immersion tank. Really, that's what they do. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, they make a ghetto immersion tank for 11 to do her 11ing. And that's basically what they're there for. They're just Elle's support team,
Yes. And honestly, by the time we get to the very last episode, not much else has happened, really.
Yeah. The bulk of what happens in this volume happens in Hawkins.
I really think Rescue Rangers, if in regards to all the teams we're going to go through, now that we've just talked them out, it's giving me the perspective to go, oh, they kind of had like the least interesting mission, had the least amount of screen time, and it's like you said, it's the kitchen is too full of cooks now.
Too many cooks. Yeah, they literally. I mean, for crying out loud, they were the only people. I mean, they were in a different state. You know what I mean? Which didn't really serve any other purpose other than to just be there with 11. I guess. You know, I don't know. It is what it is. We now move on to Team Hawkins. And this is where like the bulk of the story goes. They kind of put together Vecna's plan, and they kind of realize like he's opening holes into. I'm sorry. Yes,
gates. He's opening gates.
Thank you. Yes, gates or holes. Yeah, into the real world from the Upside Down. I'm a little hazy. I kind of forget on how they kind of correlate that to deaths. I think maybe just Dustin is really smart.
There's a few times, honestly, especially in season 4, where sometimes the kids found out something, they figured out a plan, or they figure out what was going to happen or whatever, almost like too easily. I'm like,
yes,
you
no
guys are
resistance.
teenagers, and you guys just figured out something so complex. With
Yes.
like, I'm like, I understand you've been through a lot. Okay, this is your 4th year of craziness in your lives, but I don't know. Sometimes it just felt a little too easy how they just
I
got it.
think I remember now. I think doesn't Vecna tell Nancy?
He gives Nancy visions. He gives her visions, and at the time I thought they were just visions, but then because what happens comes true, I'm like, okay, visions of the future, which later we can talk about. But I have a theory that maybe Vecna has the power of,
foresight.
Future telling.
Yeah. Well, they figure out his plan. So their plan is to stop him by going into the Upside Down while he's trying to Vecna someone.
While he's in his vampire coffin, sleeping and gathering energy.
His Nosferatu
he's brooding.
He's they're going to go into the Upside Down, which, to be quite honest with you, horrible plan. Very, very, very bad plan. I don't really understand why they thought it would work, but the idea was if we have him distracted, that we can kill the corporeal form of him. It was
cocky teenager energy. It was cocky super energy.
Yes.
Also, there was a line that Robin said that they're like prepping their weapons, they're making their Molotov cocktails, and Robin says this line like, I just have this feeling that for the first time, I don't think things are going to work out this time. And I'm like, wow, thanks for giving us that. You basically just told us that things are not going to work out.
So Max, Lucas, and Lucas's sister Erica are going to stay in the Upside Down, in the real world, to essentially be the bait, while the rest of the kids are going to be jumping the Upside Down. But then Eddie and Dustin were also going to be a distraction bait. Yes. Because everything in the Upside Down is tethered. So the idea is that like they could distract Vecna by literally pulling the attention away with Dustin and Eddie. And I thought that was a really cool scene. Their plan was to essentially, they had Eddie play some heavy metal, Metallica.
Master of Puppets.
Yes. Master of Puppets. Yeah, he played Master of Puppets on top of his trailer home. Yeah, which was a cool scene. It was really cool. While Nancy, Steve, and Robin literally sneak into the house to try to kill Vecna. So I mean, that's really the extent of the plan. Obviously, it doesn't work.
You think it works. They do the thing where you think it works, but then something goes wrong.
Yeah, so a kind of a series of things go wrong. So essentially, Max being in the and they don't really explain how, but like when Max is trying to confront Vecna, she, I guess, kind of figures out that if she thinks of a happy time, I guess you can say that, or like or a time that she, like a good memory, basically, that she can jump out of wherever Vecna tried to pull her. Or at least I think that was the idea.
Yes. But to bait him kind of in like a, because that's the thing. It's like you've got the team that's doing the physical, attack on Vecna, but she's going to try to do the mental. She's trying to lure him in. And it's like she has to think negative thoughts at first. She has to start talking in a script. And at first I was like, Vecna seems too smart to fall for this, because she starts talking out loud.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I thought so too. I'm like, this
and
man.
then he fell for it. I'm like, what?
He fell for it.
I'm like, come on, dude.
It felt kind of silly because she's all like, you're right, Vecna. Life does suck and I'm a loser. Like she's like starts doing her like monologue. And I'm like, this feels so fake. I'm like, if I was Vecna, I'd be like, this
is like, whoa, dude.
Like, if Vecna can sense real hardy depression and trauma, and leech onto that, this is so like,
this is so fake and contrived. Fake. I know. And then also, I think we forgot, we can also mention here that while she's in the trance, trying to, distract Vecna. I don't remember his name, but the white kid, the angry white kid,
the
Jason. Angry white Jason. Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know his name for the longest time. And then I had to make myself learn it because I kept calling him Tyler, Drake, Spencer. I was thinking of every frat boy name. Yeah.
But yeah, he shows up for no reason, and I just wanted to bring it up because I kept telling my wife, I'm like, this fight between him and Dustin feels very racially motivated.
Yes,
Lucas, feels very racially motivated. I was like, it feels very weird.
So
I don't know
racially
why.
motivated.
I don't know why though.
He had KKK energy. He had toxic white man energy.
I was like, Lucas is just hanging out, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. The optics. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying the optics of it just felt weird.
Yes, 100%. My friends I was watching it with, all of us were going, does this feel like a race? This is a race thing. Yeah. Like, this is not just Jason's not just mad at Lucas.
A white woman. I'm like, this is all kind of just, okay. But yes. And then back in the Upside Down, the plan to distract works with the bats. They're distracting the bats. Unfortunately, though, the bats kind of overwhelmed Dustin and Eddie. They try to escape back into the real world. Eddie
doing a hero move.
Yeah, he wants to. He not wants to, but he decides to be a hero this time. Tries to pull the bats away from Dustin in the trailer home.
Severing the connection. They had that little rope that connected them.
That connected them. Yeah, and he cut the rope and then ran away, tried to lead them away from there. And then tries to have his final stand moment, and unfortunately, he gets taken out by the bats, and he dies.
Was breaking.
Yeah, that was a sad moment.
I don't know why. It's funny because he is just this character just for this season. It's okay, they kill him. I get it, but because they did that too in season 2 with Bob Newby, and then they did that with Max's brother in season 3. But and Bob's death I think was sad, but something about Eddie's death, it was like.
Because you didn't want to see him go.
You don't want to see him go. And then it was there's a scene where before they split up, Steve is saying to Dustin and Eddie, just be careful, be safe. And then Eddie's like, don't worry, Steve. Like, we're not heroes. We're losers. Yeah. You're a hero. We're not going to do anything crazy. And then it's like Eddie kind of steps up, and it's like watching the kid who's getting bullied in school finally realize that you have strength within yourself and that you can fight back and you are strong and anyone can be a hero. And I don't know, that just I
wish he didn't die.
Sobbing. I
wish his character didn't die. It was really frustrating.
I mean, it was kind of, I thought about it later, kind of for nothing, because those bats could have flown back to Steve and Nancy, but they were already chained up to the wall with the vines.
Yeah.
And and then I thought
he didn't know that, but he wouldn't have known that. So it makes sense.
Too. He would have never known that him staying to fight those bats was kind of pointless.
Right. And then, like you said, you brought up Nancy, Robin, and Steve. They do get caught in the tentacles within the house. Yes. And so it's all looking gloom and doom. So then we're gonna side hop here and talk about the last and most important part, because it kind of brings all that together. 11,
which every season, I actually think every season it all comes back to 11.
Yeah,
she's
every season.
She's the secret weapon. She's the weapon every season.
Yeah,
which I'm not sick of it, but it's like you can kind of predict. It's always going to come down to 11.
I think it's partially because 11 is growing as a person, because she's been used as a tool for so long. So she already knows how to be the tool. She's trying to learn how to be a person. You know what I mean?
Yes. And have agency.
Yes. And so 11, now knowing who Vecna is, realizes she has to stop him and has this Luke Skywalker moment. Mm-hmm. And then there's in the first episode of Volume 2, we get a very long moment with Papa.
Oh yes.
Papa is he feels like 11's not ready, and so he tries to dissuade her, try to talk her out of it. And 11's like, I gotta go, and Papa turns the switch, and he's like, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. Yep.
That man has such control issues. Oh my God, he is. I think of all the characters, he drives me the most crazy, because it's like this man. He likes to give his little speeches, to uplift people.
Very biased.
And then the second he doesn't get his way, he is the little child with a tantrum. He's horrible.
So he drugs 11, and when he puts this inhibitor on her, almost immediately the military shows up and they
come kill 11
to come kill her. And so they both escape, and the military, they think 11's the one doing the murders in Hawkins. So I take that back. They think she's the reason why they're happening, but they know she's not directly tied to it, but they think she's the catalyst for it. So,
and they think that killing her is going to make everything better and all our problems will go away.
Not explain why, whatever. So there's a standoff outside the military base with a sniper on a helicopter. Sniper lights up Papa, R.I.P. Yes. And 11 goes Star Killer, if you guys know from Star Wars, and literally pulls the helicopter down in an epic fashion.
Yes.
I thought that was a cool scene.
I thought it was a cool scene too. But when they were showing the military driving through the desert on their way there with this helicopter and this guy, my friends and I, first thing we see the helicopter, we go, 11's going to blow that thing up. She's going to blow it up.
Yeah. Which also doesn't really help her case either when they're she's going to kill people. And then she immediately
It's funny because I feel like she doesn't want to kill people. And I actually thought when she brought the helicopter down, I was like, are these her first official murders? I'm like, were those two guys on helicopter the first kills?
You can make a strong argument that it's just self-defense because it is. They're literally aiming a weepon at her.
Yeah.
It is self-defense. So, yeah. So
I don't mind. No, I support it. I'm kill them before 11. But I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, wait, she's always been so hesitant to kill. She's the kind of fighter where she'll get her enemy in the perfect spot where she could do it, but she backs down because she's got a heart. And then when she brought the helicopter down, which I agree with self-defense, I was kind of like, well, in a way, these are her first. This maybe are her first kills. What did you think about Papa's death, by the way? Because I partied like it was the best day of my life.
I was relieved. I'm like, come on, this character is just so unnecessary at this point. Only was there to kind of show 11's growth. Mm-hmm. And she kind of has this moment where she's like, it's not it's not this, he doesn't get this, oh, this is why I did all this, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get that. 11 just is like, he doesn't deserve it. And 11 kind of gives him the peace sign and is like, hey, well, I'm out, and I kind of felt that's what his purpose was for, which in that regard is nice, that we see that kind of growth, because how many people who have been abused have never been able to kind of literally show their abuser, I've grown beyond you. You know what I mean? Yes. I'm done with you. That doesn't happen. That's almost a better kind of revenge, I guess you can say, than
I feel like she got her closure.
Yeah, her closure. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I danced on his grave. I danced. My friends and I, we clapped. We cheered. We were like, hey, Dad. Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh. Yes. So essentially, 11 is then rescued by the rescue rangers, and that's why she needed the whole immersion tank that we explained earlier, so that she can get into the space that my theory is, I think it's a space between worlds.
She's in Max's conscious, and one of my friends, I forgot that this was what it was called. I didn't even know it had a name, but I guess it's called shadow walking. That's what she was doing.
Okay, I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't remember.
I don't remember either, but that's what I was told when it was happening. She's gonna shadow walk, and I was like, okay, I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah, so she shadow walks, and she essentially does a reverse inception where she shadow walks through Max's mind to essentially reach Vecna. And so when Max is luring Vecna to one of her memories, 11 shows up in this great moment where she yeets Vecna through a dance floor.
Yes.
And
I wish a better song had been playing. I wanted, I wanted Max, because there was that turntable there and they was playing the Police's song, I'll Be Watching You. I really wanted Max to DJ that fight. I was like,
that would have been funny.
I'm like, I wanted a dance battle. I was like, dance battle.
That would have been funny. Yeah, Vecna gets yeeted through the dance floor, and then it's a quick fight. Vecna fights back. Vecna has some words for 11, basically saying, giving her the Darth Vader. We could have ruled the galaxy together. Whatever. And then from there, things get a little dark. He kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, plasters 11 to the wall in his like throne world type of thing. And then he starts to Vecna Max. And this is where things kind of take a turn because unfortunately he technically kills Max. Yeah. Yes. I mean, he technically kills her. And thus, opening that last gate into the real world and starts the, I don't know what you want to call the apocalypse that he foresaw or he's trying to come about, because I think he's opening a gate for the Mind Flayer. I think that's essentially what that's supposed to be. And so 11 through determination and love for whatever reason.
And, Mike is, by the way, sending out his, I don't know, encouragement. He's giving her like that pep talk. Yeah, he finally said, I thought it was so funny too. I'm like, this man can't say I love you ever. And then the one time when she's basically unconscious, he can say I love you.
He's like, hey, I love you, but I don't want anyone to know. He says I love you, and then she's like, I got my powers back, and for some reason is then able to fight Vecna. But like I said, he has already like broken, I think, all of Max's bones. And does that thing to her eyes, so she's like blind.
Yes. It's so like her eyes roll back into her head.
Her eyes roll back, yeah. So then in the real world, both Team Russia kill who cares? And then the Hawkins kids, they're able to essentially get free because 11 has Vecna in some type of hold in his mind. They kerosene torch his room and set him on fire.
Yes, close range shotgun him in the face.
Close range shotgun him. Yeah, I mean, they whatever it took, they got it. And Vecna is hurt, so then he releases Max, but the damage is done.
If they don't show the body, they're not dead. That's the one thing you've learned. If you don't show the body, if there's no body count, they are still alive.
Well, he falls out the window. But then when they go outside, the body's gone. So we know he's around and still alive. And then basically from there, the whole squad is reunited in Hawkins. So I thought that was a nice moment. Hopper finally able to see 11 again. I thought that was a nice moment. And then you find out Max is in a coma, and maybe her soul is, gone. We don't know. Really?
We don't know.
We don't know what's wrong, but she's in a coma.
Can we talk about little theories, some little side things I've seen about that?
Yeah.
So I feel like in a lot of TV shows and movies, there's that thing about like if somebody dies and you try to bring them back to life, the gods or whatever, the powers meant to be in the universe that make things work, that always is a bad sign. It's like if someone dies, they need to stay dead, or or someone else needs to die in their place. You can't have someone die and then take it back. And so I've seen people talking about like, she died, which allowed for Hawkins to get ruptured.
Yeah.
If they let her stay alive, what does that mean then? Because it's like, if this rupture couldn't have happened without her death, but now she's alive, you can't unrupture because she's alive. And it's like, there's this thought too. It's like, okay, well, what if she wakes up? Is she even going to be the same person? Is she going to be a vessel for Vecna? Is she going to be kind of like how when Will had the that whatever the tarantula thing was from season 2? The Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer was like in Will, and they did that exorcism with him. It's like, is that even if they were, let's say, to exorcise Max, it's like her death was, it's like she still died, and it's like, can she be alive? What's going to happen there?
My theory is basically that her death was part of, or the way she died is part of why the events happened. And I think essentially what will happen in the 5th season, my theory is just that her actual death, her like final death, will be the thing that saves them all somehow. Because I think you're right. I don't think she can be alive and then nothing happened. Like she just can't come back and just be, you know what I mean? So I think her, I don't know what you call it, her comatose state has to do with the state of Hawkins as well. That's my theory. I think there's going to be something that ties that shadow walking thing. I think there's going to be something that ties that and the upside down. I think that's all going to correlate somehow. And so I think, you know, when she was suicidal, I think that was her wanting to die because she felt like there was nothing to live for. And I think when she does die in the final season, it will be because she's dying for something. If that makes any sense.
Do you think that she's gonna die? You think by season 5?
I think she's gonna die. I think that, but I think it's gonna be for a reason. Like I think it's gonna serve some type of purpose, and she's gonna have the agency to do that. That's my theory, at least. Yeah,
I'm like It's so hard sometimes with these shows because you really don't know what way they're going to go. Because I could see that. I could see, okay, Max could die. But I also know that in Volume 1, her scene of running up that hill was like so inspiring to fans, you know, because I think it really symbolized beating depression and suicide attempts and beating death when you feel like that's your only option. And I would just be a little shocked if they really do kill Max off, because I know that was such a huge scene. That's like, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to share with you before I forget something I saw on TikTok that someone brought up a theory about, because it seems like every season there's a new monster, there's a new main character. I do think Vecna's still going to be around, but there's always these little details in the show that I feel like I am not very good at paying attention to that other people seem to catch. But do you remember when Will finally shows Mike the picture that he drew?
Yes.
And it's they're like
them fighting
soldiers,
like
a dragon.
Yeah.
So somebody on TikTok said that they think that dragon that Will drew is going to make an appearance as a literal dragon from the Upside Down, because Will, ever since what happened in season 1 to him, has always had this connection as well with the Upside Down. You know, he gets those tingles on his neck and he can sense things. And it's like, okay, he painted this painting, but we don't really know. Was it because maybe he had a vision or a dream and he saw this?
He doesn't know.
Or was it just, exactly. Yeah. And someone was saying too that like in D&D, dragons are a huge part of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. And so I'm really, really interested to see if that is going to be something that happens. Are we going to see an actual dragon? And also, I've been thinking, are the original kids, the 4 boys, going to team back up? Because they've kind of been separated.
They've been separated for a while. Yeah.
And I think the first season. It's been affecting their relationships too, because this season started with Lucas going on to kind of be the jock. Dustin's going to be a nerd. Mike's just kind of like free floating. Will's kind of alone in California, and you know, he's struggling with. They're all going through puberty and things like that. But it's been a long time since we had the 4 boys close and together. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite theory is Vecna being Eleven's dad, because I think there is room for that. The timeline for, I mean, he's the right age. And he was in the facility, and so was Eleven's mother.
It's just so creepy because all the flashbacks of him, he's like a little boy, so it's hard to imagine this man.
Right, but that's the thing. In the I don't remember the year. I think it was like the 40s or something like that, like late 40s or something 50s. Like that.
I think it was
the early 50s or something like that.
Okay, something in the 50s.
The timeline does match up, and especially when you think about the fact that like he's number 1, she's 11. Like
she's one. She's 2 1s.
Yeah, she's one of one. I don't know. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, it's, you know.
So actually, this is very similar to what your conspiracy theory thing is. Someone else said to me that all of the kids from 2 to 11 and whatever, maybe even onward, that maybe one had something to do with all of their creation. And somebody told me that, I don't know if this is true. I don't remember. I heard this from a friend. I don't know where they got this from, that maybe when Papa had 1, that maybe he took some of 1's blood and then put that into all the pregnant women who were all the pregnant women who had all those kids 2 through 11.
Yeah.
And do all of the kids have some of Vecna's blood that was put into the pregnant mothers? And is he technically maybe the father of all of those kids? But none of them would be alive except for 11 now.
11. Yeah. So we would, and the one that ran away, I guess.
I think about her all the time too. I'm like, which number was she? Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
She must have been. I don't remember. Yeah. So what were your thoughts?
Oh, final thoughts. I mean, I'm always on the edge of my seat when I'm watching this show, and I think a lot of it is because of the nostalgia. But I do have to say, like, it did bother me with how some things felt predictable. Some things, like with Robin's little foreshadowing comment that was just way too on the nose. Um, I was annoyed with the fact too that it's like Nancy and Jonathan are having this little side drama and they never address it at the end.
Really address it.
They like fake address it and they smooth it over like everything's fine. But I'm like, you guys are just putting a rug over the elephant.
Right.
I don't know. I think that there were things that were annoying like that, you know, or like there was, to me, a big plot hole was, okay, Eddie dies because of the bats. They shoot, then Nancy, Steve, and Robin shoot back out the window. But then how do those Nancy, Steve, and Robin make it back to the trailer to go back through the portal? How did they go from being in the Upside Down? Like, do they have to go through a gate to get back to the real world? They don't really explain that.
They don't.
And then did they have to fight off the bats when they were making it back? You know, they don't show the scene of them having to retreat back to the real world and how did they do that? And I also think, just killing Eddie just kind of felt a little unnecessary to me. And I mean, it's funny because I can critique this show on a lot of things and yet I still love it. I'm not a hater. I still love it. I still love the kids. But yes, there was some things that were annoying. There's some things that they figured out a little too easily. The Russian storyline I thought was meh. I'm actually at this point, I think I'm really ready for season 5. I know it's going to be sad that it's over, but I'm ready.
It's necessary.
I'm ready for it to be done. Like I can't take any more monsters and twists.
Yeah, me too. A, B, and C plots are fine. But I think when they have their own subplots, I think that's where you start to lose me personally. I love this season. I thought it was great. I think it's hard to like it. I feel like at some points it feels like I'm nitpicking. At the same time, I feel like nothing is perfect. Almost nothing is perfect. And that's okay. Like it's okay to critique something based on your preference or whatever. So I enjoyed this season a ton. I thought volume 2 was unnecessary. I would have just rather them break up those episodes as needed because it just felt like I watched one 4-hour block episode and my brain just couldn't disassociate like the different breaks. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the way they released it was weird. It's like volume 1 came out and then only about 2 weeks later came volume 2. And I'm like, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What was the point of that indeed? So I don't love that release method. But I did enjoy the season as a whole. I highly recommend it. If you have not watched this season yet, well, first of all, you spoiled it for yourself. But
if you made it to this point, you don't even need to watch it.
Don't even need to watch it. You already spoiled it. But let us know if you guys enjoyed this season. Let us know if you cannot wait for season 5. Let us know your theories. Let us know if you think we're crazy. Kate, I was going to tell you one of the things that you did guess correctly is that you felt like the kids were too cocky in the first half. And you were like, it's not going to end the way they think it's going to end. And you called that, right? Or you nailed it right in the head. So, you know, let us know your theories, guys. We love hearing them. But yeah.
Let us know if you think pineapple on pizza is okay. Because
that is
Argyle.
No, that is a no. That was
it's a yes. Offensive. It's a yes.
That's a. Let us know if you think Kate is nuts or insane.
Hey, are you Team Argyle, aka Team Hawaiian Pizza?
No,
I'm on that side. I think I'm right. That's my hot take. That's what I want to hear from the fans. Let us know what you think of Hawaiian pizza. Oh
my God, I can't believe this, Kate. Yes, let us know if Kate is crazy at any one of our social media sites. The Bandwagon Fan Podcast. Man, I hate saying that. What a tongue twister. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Kick, MySpace,
anywhere you want.
Anyway, LinkedIn for some reason.
You can find us on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Yeah. So hit us up on any of our platforms. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
The Bandwagon Fan Podcast is hosted by Josh Jimenez, Alex Melgosa, and me, AJ Soy. Our show is produced by Kate Smith and edited by your boy, AJ. Our social media is managed by Natalia Kokuya, and our theme song, Lush Waves, is provided to us by Taylor Lewin of _audio. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.